Okay, I will start to record right now. All right. So again, welcome to MENA First 5305. And my name is Lei Hua, and I'm the instructor of this course. Okay. So today, as I just mentioned, we will mainly go through the syllabus, and which already includes the course requirements and also the course, the expectation of the specific course. Okay. But before we even start to talk about the details of this specific course, I would like to, first introduce myself. As I said, my name is Lei Hua, and you guys can just call me Professor Lei or Dr. Lei. That's good enough for me. All right. And actually, I have been working at UT Tyler for almost 1 year. Okay. I started working at UT Tyler from last fall semester, starting from September 2021. I love Tyler very much. And, I live here. I find that actually environment here is very, very nice. And my wife and I, we really love this place. And we feel very fortunate that actually we come here as one of the, member in this community. All right. And I earned my PhD degree from UT Arlington. You guys know that Arlington is not far away from here. It's just 2 hours drive. All right. My major is also operations management or management science more broadly. All right. And so that's why actually I've been teaching this course when I was a PhD student, like 4 or 5 years ago. So I've been actually teaching this course for a few years. Okay. And since also my research interest is also highly related to how we kind of improve the decision making, how we use the business analytics, specified into operations management field. So I kind of very familiar with this specific area. Okay. And my research interest more specifically is related to, for example, behavioral operations. Okay. What are the important behavioral factors that needs to be incorporated within the whole operations management business kind of specific applications? That's one of my main topic. I'm also, doing many research related to game theory, bargaining theory, contract theory, all those different stuffs. So in my own research, I also frequently use different type of the quantitative methods specified within the operations management. Okay, so I'm really hoping that I can provide you some understanding about the structure of the operations management, and from my own perspective. And I really hope that we can have a very nice discussion through the course, no matter through email, through the appointments, and I feel that through this discussion I can also learn a lot from you guys, to get a deeper understanding about all the different stuff. Okay, so I'm hoping that we have more interactive kind of the environment within this course. But I know that for this specific course, especially for the summer 1 semester, we only have a little bit more than 4 weeks. So basically the course content itself is very intensive. I totally understand that. So that's why actually for the course material, I will talk about details of the course material just in a second, but I will let you know that basically I kind of concise a little bit, but I still want to cover all of the important topics and also the areas within this course, although I know this is a little bit intensive. Okay, so yeah, that's a general description of myself. Any question, guys? Before we move to the next step? Okay, let's start. Okay, now you might be very interested about what we are talking about within operations management. And from my past experience, actually, many of my students, they asked me these 2 questions in the first class. Okay, so some of them may ask me, okay, Dr. Lei, I found out that operations management seems to be a very quantitative course. Okay, I'm not that good at math or anything. Is it a very hard course? That's the first question some students actually asked me in the first course. Honestly, the short answer is yes. It's kind of hard because it does actually include some quantitative methods within this course. However, I want to emphasize is that this is not a math course. Okay, it's not a math course. Our emphasis is not just for calculation. That's not our emphasis. Our emphasis is to understand the essence of those different quantitative methods. We try to apply the appropriate quantitative methods into those business scenarios and see what would the output, what would be the manager insights that we can get, right? And then we can actually report to our, for example, CEO or our director within the company and, generate some good stuff. Okay, so that is the main idea. That is the main purpose of of having this course. Okay, we're trying to apply those quantitative methods within different business scenarios, or even broadly, we also talk about how those kind of decision-making methods can help us improve some life decisions. Okay, so that's a little bit more broader way to interpret that. All right, so in order to fit for their target, okay, so in this course, okay, as I said, the most important thing is not for calculation itself, it's for interpretation. Okay, so that's why, for example, within the exam, all right, the exam will be an open notes, open source exam. All right, so you guys can use calculator during the exam. Okay, as I said, this is not for calculations. So if you have the calculator, if you understand the core material of the core essence of those quantitative methods, I think basically you can actually handle all those calculations very easily. But the most important thing, whether you understand the context, whether you put the most appropriate method into those specific contexts to get the result. That's the thing that we want to emphasize with this course, not math itself. Okay, so that's for the first question. It's kind of hard in terms of math because it has some calculation, but it's not our target. That's why you guys can use calculator. You guys can, open source. You guys do not actually need to remember everything related, for example, equation, right? You can actually, during the exam, you can write down all those equations within the sheets, all those important stuff within the sheets. You don't actually need to remember it. But the most important thing, you know exactly what this equation means, and you just apply it properly. That's good enough. Okay? All right, that's the first question. The second question is that actually many students told me, okay, since this is kind of hard course, can I pass this course easily? Okay, my answer is that as long as you follow this pace, as long as you put your efforts, follow this pace, learn all those different techniques or different methods, okay, most of my students actually get not just pass this course, okay, most of the students actually get A or B in this course, okay, and for my past experience, normally like around 80 or 85% of students actually get A or B. Okay, at the beginning, they may actually feel a little bit hard because they actually do have some calculation process. But as I said, try your best to, if you have any confusion, that's very natural, that's very normal. Okay, try your best to first figure it out, and also if you have any specific question, feel free to contact me through email or make up personal appointment. I will try my best to help you figure out the exact points that you may get confused through this whole process. So don't hesitate to contact me. And that's what I learned is that after that, as long as students understand the exact point that they may get confused in this whole process, then no matter how I change the context, no matter how I change the numbers or those things, as long as they understand the logic, understand this key thinking flow, actually all those type of questions suddenly become much more simpler. So that's why actually I do recommend every one of you, if you have any questions, for example, if you actually are solving for one specific, business context question, okay, problem solving question, you can actually write down your working, process, okay, and take a screenshot and then send it through email, okay. I will quickly look through all your stuff and I can locate the exact point that you may get confused and return back to you as soon as possible, okay. Normally, I will actually respond to my student in just a few hours for sure. Okay, I do actually want my student to be to get the quick response as quick as possible. Okay, so that's a general statement about the course. Okay, it's a little bit hard in terms of math, but that's not the main target of this course. Okay, and in this course, basically, so try your best to communicate and interact with me and interact among your peers. That's actually a good way to help improve. And if you follow the pace, actually most of the students can get a very great, can actually learn a lot through this course and also get a very great grade in this course. Okay, that's the general statement of this. Okay, now, any question before we move to the specific chapter kind of idea? All right, now let's move on. So the course material itself, the chapter material itself is very standard and actually it's very straightforward. Okay, very simple. We actually have three big sections, okay, in terms of course material. The first section is to basically is more internal focus. What means by internal focus? As a company, all right, First of all, we need to actually kind of understand and kind of improve the internal operational efficiency, right? As a company, no matter you are a manufacturer, supplier, or retailer, as a company itself, normally we'll first improve our own internal operational efficiency. We will talk about a few different management, like capacity management. We will talk about the constraint management. We'll talk about some fundamental, business strategy, those kind of things, to basically help us understand better about how we can improve our operational efficiency, all right, from different aspects. That's the first section. We actually will cover a few chapters related to that, all right? Now, the second section is more external driven, okay? As a company, we all know that we are not alone, right? We also have some external partner, okay? Suppose you're a company for example, in a supply chain. Who is your external partner? For example, you may have some downstream retailer, right? You may have some downstream customer directly, okay? You may also have some upstream supplier who actually offer you some, raw materials that ready for production for you, all right? So how we can deal with the relationship between you and, how the relationship with you and also your customer and also your supplier, okay? How we can better respond our, downstream retailer and upstream suppliers, change, okay? So that will be the second focus of this course. Respond to your external partner. This external partner includes your downstream retailer or upstream supplier. Normally, upstream supply provides you what? The raw material, right? And then you start to produce, start to offer service, those kind of things, and then give it to who? Give it to your downstream, no matter retailer or customer, okay? So that will be the second focus that we will talk about, the second section, okay? The third section, once we already figure out what is the main focus of our own internal operational efficiency, and also once we have a good response to our external partner, then we start to make it as a whole chain. That's why we call it supply chain, right? And in this specific section, we're not actually looking every specific company as all. Now, we actually will view this all different company as a whole system. We call it supply chain system. In this supply chain system, we will try to integrate the whole supply chain. We try to contract a little bit more sophisticated. We try to integrate more, efficiently. Okay, so we will also talk about a few different topics related to supply chain integration. Okay, so these are the three steps that we will talk about in terms of chapter materials. Okay, we have some chapter related to the internal operational efficiency improvement. We have some, chapter related to the external response to the partners. We also have some chapters related to the integration of supply chain, okay? The reason that I emphasize, even before I not talk about any specific detail related to this chapter, is because I figured out that this kind of general structure of the operations management is very important. I really hope that give you some sense about what is the general picture of operations management before we fill in the specific, material into this whole picture. That's why I think this is kind of important. Okay, so if you go to take a look at all this stuff, I won't actually spend much time to go to every detail within the learning outcomes, all right? But I do require every one of you to take a look at all the things, at least have a basic understanding about what we were talking about, all right? For example, also here, you can see that, right? We actually will talk about a few different topics, for example, demand forecasting, all right? So think about this. Before we start producing any specific product or offer any specific service, we at least need to have an estimation about what is the market demand for that specific production, for that specific products. What is the market demand for that service before we start to produce or offer service, right? So demand forecasting is very important. This is more driven by your downstream customer. We will also talk about how we estimate that by using a few quantitative methods, okay? The capacity management is more internal driven, right? How we can actually, efficiently use our capacity. What is our capacity and how we can efficiently use our capacity? That's another thing that we also need to, consider about, all right? The resource allocation, the inventory management is very important because how normally for most of the company, they will have to prepare some inventory within their warehouse, all right? We have to consider both our upstream supplier availability, and also downstream, retailers, demand forecast, and we need to manage inventory very well, such that we won't actually have stock out situation, but also we won't actually have situation that we have too much inventory within our warehouse, because we have to pay the corresponding cost in order to hold those inventory. Okay, we will talk about a few different quantitative methods to help us balance between those different factors that I just mentioned. Not too many inventory, not too little inventory. What will be the optimal inventory level that actually we should keep in our factory? Okay, we will talk about that in one specific chapter. And also we will talk about some supply chain management. That's basically the last thing that we will talk about. Also the quality control, of course. Quality is one of the most important that we have to internally control. So this is also included within this section one, okay? Now, I won't actually talk about the details showing here, okay? But please go to every single detail showing within the learning outcomes. And when we start to talk about chapters, then of course, all the different things will be actually, illustrated one by one, okay? So let's continue. Any specific question before we move to the textbook and the course material requirement? Okay, now let's continue. Okay, the textbook and the course material is very straightforward. All right, so actually the textbook that our department is using right now is Operations and Supply Chain Management, the core 5th edition. Okay, actually I've been using this specific textbook for a few years, and this is a nice book and actually covers all different sections that I just mentioned, from internal to external to supply chain. That's one of the big reasons that's actually finally our department decided to use this specific textbook, okay? The requirement course material that we need for this specific course is the Connect access code, okay? This is required by the department, the Connect access code, because all of our homework, smart book homework and also homework assignments will be actually assigned through Connect system. Okay, that's why actually the Connect access code is required by the department. And once you have the Connect access code, okay, for this specific course, actually you can already get access to this course. You also will have an ebook. Okay, actually after you have the Connect access code, there's an ebook is together with this Connect access code if you get into the system. Okay, so for many students actually they feel that okay, the ebook is good enough, but for some other students, they may feel that I still need the, for example, hard copy or loose leaf copy. You can actually order that from the bookstore, but make sure that you also need a Connect access code. This is required. Okay, so but for the textbook, either you can choose the ebook or hard copy or the loose leaf. That's your decision. All right, so just use the most proper way to basically get all those stuff. Okay, and the most easiest way to get the to purchase the Connect access code, at least one way is that just go to the Canvas account, all right, and click to this specific course. On the left top, you will see MH Connect, right? Click on it, and then it will lead you to purchase the Connect access code for this specific course. Okay, and after that, once you purchase the code, all right, purchase the access code, each time when you try to complete homework assignments, you do not actually need to go to the Connect system directly. No, you go to the Connect account and click on Assignment tab. The corresponding link is already showing there. Okay, so I will require every one of my students to actually, to use that link to go, to complete assignments. Because if you directly, complete assignment through the Connect account, actually the Canvas sometimes actually have an error to grab your, score from the Connect account. So that's why actually, I require every one of you to, do this directly through Canvas, and also this is simpler for you guys. All right, just click on the specific link, and they already show what is the deadline for those specific assignments. And when it approaches to the assignment deadline, I will also remind every one of you through the Canvas. Okay, but for the homework assignment, let's just we will talk about just next seconds. All right, now these are all things related to the course material requirements, textbook, and also Connect access code. Is there any question for the textbook and also the Connect access code? Actually, I have seen that many students have already registered and start working already. All right, that's good. And because actually for this specific week, we have 2 assignments that will be due. Okay, I will talk about it just in a second about details of those assignments. why we have different type of assignments, what's the main purpose of those assignments. I will talk about just in a second, all right? But if you haven't purchased, please purchase, as soon as possible. Okay, I think they probably will provide you a trial at the beginning for the first two. I think I'm not quite sure for the details, but they may provide you a trial at the beginning. But please, register as soon as possible, and the first two assignments will be due in this specific week, at the end of this week. Okay. Now let's start to talk about look at the grading policy. Okay, showing here. The grading policy here is very straightforward, very simple actually. Okay, in this specific course, we probably will cover 8 different chapters. Okay, 8 different chapters. Okay, now let's first look at what are the different role represents. Okay, we have 2 different type of assignments. Both assignments are assigned through Connect, but you just need to go to the canvas to complete them. Okay, what are these 2 different assignments? Very simple. One is called Smart Book Reading Assignment, right? Another one is called Homework Assignment. Why we have these 2 different type of assignments? The Smart Book Reading is a very simple difference. The Smart Book Reading Assignment, basically, you just need to follow their pace to go through those important points through textbook. Okay, so you can view Smart Book Reading Assignment as a preview of every chapter. Okay, so the system will lead you to go through those, important points within every chapter through textbook. Okay, so you can just view it as the preview of every chapter. For most students, once they because there's no attempt limit or anything, once you follow the pace and complete it, you will get the 4 points. You will get the 4 points. Okay, for every smart reading assignment, it will be 30 points. Okay, it will be 30 points. And we have 8 different assignments. That's why total is 240. Okay, 30 times 8. That's why it's 240. Okay, from my past experience, most of the students will get 240 because they just completed it before the deadline. Through the smart reading assignments, they already get a solid understanding about at least the fundamental, solid understanding about the fundamental of every chapter. But I do think this is important for students to at least go through the textbook through their system. Okay, they may actually provide you some question. You just complete that. Most of students get 4 points for this part. But do not miss the deadline. All right, do not miss the deadline. I will definitely remind every one of you before it will be due. However, you guys, complete as soon as possible. Okay, and view smart book reading assignment as a preview assignment. That's a preview of every chapter. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Homework assignment. Probably you guys already kind of figure out what means by what is purpose for homework assignments. Homework assignments can be viewed as a review of every chapter. Okay, review of every chapter. So the homework assignment will actually include a few different problem-solving questions. Okay, and also a few qualitative, quality type of the conceptual type of the questions. Okay, so still you see that since we covered 8 chapters, right? So every homework assignment actually is 30 points. Okay. So the homework assignments actually, as I just mentioned, it will include a few different problem-solving questions. Okay. Those problem-solving questions are a little bit comprehensive. The reason the homework assignments, include more comprehensive questions is that I do actually want you guys to, first of all, use the homework questions to practice to see whether you exactly understand the key logic, the key sense of those different quantitative methods. Okay, and secondly, look at how we can properly apply those methods into those real business scenario. Okay, so that's why for the homework questions, normally the difficulty level is a little bit higher. All right, because the context itself is a little bit comprehensive for some questions. All right, it's a little bit comprehensive. It actually needs a few steps to solve the whole questions. You may need, take some time. All right, but it's a very good learning chance for you to practice, for you to further understand all those important stuff within this course. Okay, and I highly recommend every one of you. Okay, if you actually have any question when you try to work through this whole process. Okay. First of all, look at, I will actually provide the slide chapter videos. I will just talk about that just in a second. However, all right, don't hesitate to contact me if you have any specific question when you go through this. For the homework assignment question, as I announced, basically, I cannot directly tell you what is the solution, all right? However, if you show me your working process, or if you want to actually have a personal, appointment, online appointment, I can at least give you some hints about what is the exact point that you may get confused. That may actually be very helpful, not just for grades, but for, for understanding the key sense of those different questions. That's very important, okay? That's my recommendation, okay? So homework assignments, since this is mainly for practice, mainly for you guys to improve your understanding, okay? For every homework assignment, I will give you guys 3 attempts. I totally understand that, sometimes as a first attempt, even if you understand kind of basic logic about the fundamental of those type of questions, you may get confused about some specific points, okay? But as I said, the homework assignment, the main purpose is for practice, is for understanding, okay? So that's why I provide 3 attempts. But I highly recommend you guys to fully use 3 different attempts, because after every attempt, I will provide you, actually the system will provide you some detailed feedback. You can actually take a look at those detailed feedback to understand what is the possible thing that's actually I get missed through my working process. Okay, so all those things can be actually helpful for you to get a deeper and solid understanding. And if you are, as I just mentioned, if you're still unclear about something, feel free to contact me. I can actually help you to further improve. All right, don't hesitate to do that. So homework assignment will be actually having 3 attempts for you guys. Okay, do not just use 1 attempt. I would actually recommend you guys to fully use those attempts which is first of all better for you to understand for those key important materials. Also, it's good for you to improve your overall performance for this specific homework assignment section. Okay, and also, as I can tell you guys that from my past experience, most of the students after if they fully use the 3 attempts, normally they would get around on average is also about 90% of the grade for the homework assignments. Okay, so just fully use those different 3 attempts to actually improve your understanding and also improve your grade. Okay, now we also have 2 exams. Okay, 2 exams. So exam 1 and exam 2. Okay, so the first exam and second exam probably will cover different. The first exam will cover the first 4 chapters that we will cover in this course. The second exam will mainly focus on the next 4 chapters that we will cover. Okay, but as to whether this is comprehensive or not, right now I haven't decided. But even if it's comprehensive, most of the questions will come from the last 4 chapters. Okay, but I will announce that as quick as possible for you guys to better prepare for the final exam. But I can tell you that the exam 1 will focus on the first 4 chapters that we will cover. The second exam will mostly cover the last 4 chapters that we will cover. So in total, we will cover 8 different chapters in this specific course. Okay. Now, as to the format, the exam 1, no matter exam 1 and exam 2, I used a very standard formats. Okay. Each exam will cover 40 multiple choice questions. Okay, 40 multiple choice questions. Within every exam, 70% of the question will be problem-solving questions. Okay, 30% of the questions will be conceptual type of the questions. All right, and in every exam, it will be open notes, open materials, and you can take your I highly recommend every one of you to take your calculator, because some questions do actually need calculation. Okay, and then for every exam, I normally will open a 3-day or 4-day time window. Okay, and once you start, you will have 2 hours time limit to complete it. Okay, so just make sure you pick up the most convenient 2 hours during that time window. All right, and from my past experience, 2 hours is good enough for you guys to complete all those questions. Okay, most students actually I found out that we're completing 1.5 hours. But the reason that I give an extra half an hour is because I do actually want you guys to I don't actually want you guys to to rush because of the some calculation. I want you guys to if you have more time, you can actually take a review of those questions through this whole process. Okay, so 2 hours from my past experience is good enough. Okay, we will talk about more details related to the first exam, second exam later. I will announce the more details later. But basically the structure of the exam is like that. Another thing is the difficulty level of the questions within the exams. Okay, I can tell you guys that the exam question difficulty level will be a little bit simpler compared to homework questions. As I said, homework questions actually have sometimes some of the questions will have some comprehensive scenario, comprehensive context, and have multiple, needs multiple steps or multiple things that you have to solve. All right. However, in the exam, so I will actually go straight to the specific thing that I'm testing. Okay, for example, no matter for quantitative methods, for statistical techniques, or some qualitative concepts. Okay, so that's why actually the homework assignment will provide you a very nice guideline of about the difficulty level. As I said, the exam question will be a little bit similar compared to homework assignment questions. So if you can very easily handle the homework assignment questions, probably you'll be fine for the exam. But even if you have some issue during the homework assignment working process, that's very natural. That's totally fine. Look through the corresponding course material like chapter slides, chapter videos, and also contact me if you have any question. Don't hesitate. Okay, I keep actually emphasizing that because I do actually hope that any of you, if you have any question, feel free to let me know. Okay, I'm the instructor of this course. I will try my best to help every one of you to go through all those different things within this specific course. Okay, even after course, we're still we can also still keep in touch. All right. Now, okay, so this will be the grades, very standard. Okay, and I do expect every one of you to. Okay, another important thing. So in my course, normally I will disable one column automatically generated from Canvas for a total column. Okay, the reason is very simple. Okay, because that grade column is automatically generated from the Canvas. Sometimes you may not actually follow our grading policy, so that's why I don't actually want to mislead my students. Instead, I will generate one specific called overall weighted average score, the overall weighted average score. Okay, so I will follow the grading policy. Once, for example, if you've completed all those assignments after deadline, I will update the overall weighted average score very frequently, okay? Such that once you log into your Canvas, log into this course, you can clearly see based on our grading policy, you can look at the weighted average score. Then you know what is my current performance, okay? And I do require every one of you to keep track of your performance by just looking at the specific overall weighted average score. And if you have any questions or issues, feel free to let me know. All right, we can definitely discuss about any details related to that. All right, so yeah, so probably starting from this week, I will create that column called weighted average score on Canvas, and you guys can clearly see that. Okay, and at the end of this week, probably the first two assignments will be due. We'll talk about that just in a second. Is there any question related to grading policy? No question? Okay. Now let's move on. So we start from yesterday, all right? And the census date is showing here. The last day to withdraw from a course is showing here, the June 21st, and this will be the final exam week. Okay, for more related to final exam, I will announce that quickly. Okay, so the course policy. So as this course, you see, first of all, no matter for the smart book reading assignment or homework assignments, all right, you will do according to the course schedule table. I will talk about the details just in a second, which is actually already listed on syllabus at the last page. Okay, the late assignment is not accepted. The late assignment is not accepted. Okay, but I will remind every one of you through Canvas when it approaches to deadline. So what you guys need to be cautious is that, start it as soon as possible. And also, do not miss the deadline, okay? Because you see that no matter the homework assignments or smart book reading assignments, okay, those grades, if you work hard, you show put your efforts through this whole process, you can get most grades, all right? So try your best to complete those assignments before the deadline, okay? Now, also, this is since this is a 3 credit hour course, all right. So that's why we do actually require you guys to actually use 9 hours of reading and 9 hours of reading and study, and also according to the intense level of this course, since we're actually in summer one, right? So although I already, concise the material a little bit, while, since, students do actually have some learning curve when, look at all those quantitative methods through this whole process. So that's why I would highly recommend every one of you to start learning all those stuff as quick as possible. Okay, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always here to help you. And if you send me the email, or through, no matter through email or through Canvas, normally I will respond very quickly. Okay, and most a few hours I will respond. I do want to help my students as fast as possible. Okay, any issue, any question is welcome. All right. Now, yeah, as I just mentioned, the homework assignment, the smart book assignments, is through a Canvas. Okay, you need to actually just log into Canvas, click on the assignment tab. The corresponding assignment link is already shown here. Once you have the access code, you can actually get access to those specific assignments, and please complete the assignment before that. The later assignment will not be accepted, as I emphasized. Okay. The exam policy, we have 2 exams, and every exam is also through Canvas. Okay, it's open notes, open book exam. You can take your calculator, and I will also highly recommend you guys to, you can actually write down some equation on a piece of sheet, right? And you don't actually need to remember anything, remember those specific equations. As long as you understand what this equation means, what this equation is for, okay, how we apply this equation, that's good enough, okay? So you do need to remember. As I said, this course is not a math course. This course is not for remembering. This course is for interpretation, how we interpret this equation and how we apply those equations into the specific business scenario. That's the most important thing. And I will try my best to help you guys to get a deeper understanding about those things. Okay, now let's move on. There's no makeup exam for this course. Okay, if you do have any issue, please contact me before the exam. Okay, before the exam host. Okay, but in general, we won't actually have makeup exam. Okay, if you miss the exam, then you'll get 0 for that exam. Okay. All right. Actually, starting from here, the College of Business Statement of Ethics, yeah, written communication, yeah. I want to actually lead you guys to go through every details starting from this section. It doesn't mean that it's not important. No, it's very important. However, I do actually require every one of you to go through all those statements showing within the syllabus yourself. All right. However, if you have any question, or if you have any issue, feel free to let me know. Okay, feel free to let me know without no hesitation. Okay. There's one very important thing shown here. Okay, so course schedule. Okay, so I would like to talk about all of the details showing in this course schedule. Okay, this is very important. I already tried my best to actually include all of those, the structural things within this table to give you a, at least a solid sense about what is this course schedule, what is the course expectation, what is the course requirements. So all those important days and all those important materials, the title of the material are already listed in this table. Let's take a look at all those stuff. Okay, how we interpret this table. So we're now in week 1. Okay, we're now in week 1. So in this specific week, we will start to introduce this course as we are now actually introducing the syllabus, and then we will start to talk about chapter 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 2 is about strategy and sustainability, and chapter 3 is about forecasting. Okay, these are 2 specific chapters. Okay, and then you see homework assignment and the smart book assignments. Okay, as I just mentioned, the smart book assignments can be viewed as preview of every chapter. Okay, the homework assignment can be viewed as a review of every chapter. So that's why you see, basically for the smart book assignments, it will be due when we are introducing this chapter. Okay, so normally it will be due on every Friday when we introduce that specific chapter. But for the first week, especially for chapter 2 and chapter 3, I move it to Sunday because this is the first week. I know that students actually need some time to set up the account or anything. So that's why, especially for chapter 2 and chapter 3, the corresponding smart book assignment will be due on Sunday, June 5th at 11:59 p.m. Okay. From my past experience, the smart book assignment won't actually take much time for that. but it does actually give my students, many of my students really love smart book assignment because it gives students a very solid understanding about the fundamental of every chapter. And once you complete that, it doesn't take much time, but once you complete that, first of all, you get at least a basic understanding of every chapter. And also most of my students actually get 4 points for every assignment. Okay, so don't miss those chance to get a basic understanding. Also, these can be viewed as some easy points for the assignments. All right, so that's why you see in the week 1, this is basically are the 2 assignments that we will be due in this week. Okay, it's due on Sunday. Okay, as you can see, starting from the second week, once we start to introduce a corresponding chapter, you see normally the smart book is due on Friday. Okay. So unless I specifically announce to extend the smart book assignment due date, the specific due date will be exactly this due date. Okay. I will try best to follow this, follow the schedule that I displayed. Not to change anything here, but just in case if we change, then I will actually announce on campus. Okay. Now, for the homework assignment, as you can see here, since homework assignment is basically viewed as the review of every chapter, so that's why in the first week, since we are still introducing the chapter, we are still learning the chapter 2 and chapter 3, these 2 assignments will be actually has already been assigned. Okay, but it will not be due this week. The chapter 2, chapter 3 homework assignment will be due until June 14th, 11:59 p.m. Okay, so everyone can see that, right? So chapter 2 and chapter 3. So basically, the reason that you see, the deadline is a little bit later because I do actually want to give my student enough time to learn through all those important notes, to understand the key sense of those quantitative methods within every chapter. That's why I give this, although I know this is an intensive course schedule, but I give you guys 2 weeks to understand the stuff. That's why you see the deadline is June 14th. Okay, but do not wait until the last minute to start homework assignment. Actually, I had this experience from very few of my students. Okay, they may actually wait until last minute. Then even they have some question, they do not actually have time to interpret. Okay, so make sure you start it as soon as possible. Actually, the homework assignment for chapter 2 and chapter 3 is already open for you guys. You guys can start working after we will talk about some other course material just in a second, all right? But you guys is available for chapter 2 and chapter 3 right now, okay? And the deadline shown here, okay? So as to the course material, okay, that's a very important thing. The main course material that I provide you guys is, first of all, we definitely have the chapter slides. You guys, if you click on the module tab, all right, you can see the corresponding chapter slides. And also, besides that, I also provide a chapter videos. Okay, what is the main function of the chapter slide and chapter videos? First of all, chapter slides already include most of the important materials, the most important quantitative methods that we will cover in every chapter. Okay, and if you look at the corresponding chapter video, you see that chapter video, first of all, I actually separate into a few parts. For example, chapter 3, I have chapter 3, video 1, video part 2, video part 3. All right. And basically for every chapter video, it's a little bit long because I basically try to, illustrate every single point as, as detailed as possible. Okay. So that's why, those chapter videos are a little bit long, but you can view those things, view the chapter videos as a supportive material. Okay, so for some students, they may actually use, directly look at the chapter videos because chapter videos is actually corresponding to the chapter slides. Okay, they may actually view the chapter videos from the beginning to the end narratively. Okay, and they may actually have a solid understanding about that. Some students would like to, first look at the chapter slides, and if they have any question, if they feel that okay, I already understand this part. All right, and then I will move to the next one. For this part, I may have some issue. They may actually go and then find the corresponding part of the chapter video and then take a look at what I explain, what I illustrate to get a solid understanding. So different students may actually have, different learning pattern. Well, what I'm doing here is to provide as much as efficient, course material as possible. Okay, so that's why we have chapter slides. we have the chapter videos. Okay, you can fully use all those materials to get a deeper understanding about all those important materials within every chapter. But don't forget, even if you view chapter videos, you may still get confused about some specific point. That's very natural because those quantitative methods sometimes actually may have some small misunderstanding that will actually lead to some wrong results compared to the solution. That's very natural. So if you have this kind of confusion, feel free to contact me, and I can help you to locate the specific issue and help you to get a deeper understanding. And then after that, you figure that after you understand the key logic, the issue, and also after you clarify all those issues, understand the key logic in the sense of every specific type of the technique, okay, everything will become very smooth. Okay, so those are the two materials. Okay, so although today we will have the online session, okay, as I know that here we're department will not require the online session, for online course. So I will provide the course, the chapter slides and the chapter videos for you guys. Okay, don't hesitate to learn all those materials. Okay, so today we have the online session. We will not have a regular online session starting from today, but please carefully review all those chapter videos and the chapter slides. Okay, according to the schedule that I provide here. Okay, carefully review that. All right. So this will be the homework assignments due date, right? June 14th, 11:59 p.m. So in the week 3, okay, it's time for us to start review these 4 assignments. These 4 chapters, and to be prepared for exam 1. Okay, so we will have exam 1 review. Okay, I will provide you guys, a document to basically, which includes some most important problem-solving type of questions in that document as exam 1 review questions, okay? And I would highly recommend you guys to solve all those questions yourself at the beginning. And then I will also provide you guys an exam 1 review solution, okay? I will provide the detailed solution, the detailed steps of every problem-solving question, such that if you already try your best to work on every question, you can take a look at my detailed solution. You can compare between 2, all right? That will highly help you to basically figure out what is the exact points that you missed when you try to work through this process. Okay, that will highly help you guys to basically figure out the corresponding issue right there. Okay, so exam 1 review, I'll provide you guys the questions together with the solution. Okay, so if you have any question, again, as I repeatedly emphasize, please contact me if you have any questions. Okay, don't hesitate. Now, in week 3, the exam 1 will be held on Canvas. As I said, we will have a 3-day time window. Okay, I will open that time window, and you guys just pick up the most convenient 2 hours to complete the exam 1. And make sure that your online, your internet is stable. Anything related to that, all right? Make sure it's it's stable, and then just complete it. And I will quickly also update the weighted average score on Canvas. Okay, so you see that's basically the structure following exam 1 is very similar as what we just mentioned. For example, starting from week 3, we start to move to the second part, right? We start from chapter 8 and chapter 9, which includes sales and material requirement planning. Okay, these are 2 different chapters. All right, and I will actually record a video to fully illustrate all those different chapters. Okay, to support the chapter slides. All right, and then the corresponding homework will be assigned on this week, and the smart book reading assignment will be due on this week. Okay, will be due on this week. And then similarly, chapter 10 and chapter 11 will be introduced within week 4, the quality management, the inventory management. These are very important, the management aspect of the operations process. All right. And the corresponding homework assignment will be assigned in this week, and the corresponding reading assignment, the smart book reading assignment will be due this week. And for the homework assignment for chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapter 11, right, it's assigned in these 2 weeks, but it will be due in this week, in the 5th week. Okay, so it will be due on Tuesday, June 28th by 11:59 p.m. Okay, so it will be due a little bit later. And I will remind every one of you when it approaches to the deadline. Okay, and finally we will have exam 2 on campus. Okay, so this will be the whole material, whole the structure of the course material, the course expectation. Okay, any questions related to the course schedule? Any questions? Am I clear enough to?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I'm hoping that actually I explained very clearly to all of you guys. And I just, I really hope that, I can make the schedule, all the materials and the purpose, and also the course material as clear as possible. I don't actually want to, confuse my students. But if you guys have any question, feel free to let me know. Okay, you can send me an email later. Okay, and this will be the course schedule. Okay, so today we have this online session to basically describe the course requirements, the course expectation. That's actually very important. This is the first step of this course. Okay, and starting from tomorrow, I will start to upload the corresponding chapter video, the corresponding chapter slides, and you guys can start to work. Okay, and we won't actually have regular online meeting through this, through this 5 weeks. However, if you want to some real-time interaction, if you have any issue about the working process, feel free to let me know, and we can make up an appointment, personal appointments to discuss about any questions, anything related to that. All right. So again, basically the first 2 assignments will be due this Sunday. Okay, I still give you guys a few more days to complete the setup procedure and start to work on these 2 chapters. Okay, but make sure you purchase the access code, the Connect access code, and then start to work on it as soon as possible. And you still have enough time to complete all those stuff. Okay, let me see, is there anything I left here? Yeah, I think this will be the course expectation and course requirement of this course. Okay, as I said, later on, I will actually, first of all, I'll upload this specific recorded video on Canvas. So any student can basically, take a review of this. I require every one of you to, overview the video, especially for students who haven't participated today. And if you have if any student have any question related to the course requirements, feel free to let me know. Okay. Any other question? Any other specific question before we end the online session? Okay. So again, I appreciate that every one of you coming today, participate in the online session, and we go through the course, a requirement and course expectation. I appreciate everyone coming here, and let's keep in touch. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. All right. If you guys do not have any question, I will end today's online session. Again, thank you guys for coming, and welcome to MENA 5305. Welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys. Yeah. So I will end today's session. I will post that on Canvas soon. Okay. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.